Statement 3. There is such a thing as a human soul, and it is immortal. When I read through this point from Lewis about the Christian immortal soul, I wondered what was science doing today about extending life. And sure enough, lots of people are working on it. One article I found even mentioned something about studying the effects of taking blood from young people and giving infusions to older people to see if it was an effective way to boost health and prolong life. Thanks, technology. Thanks, imagination. You're going to make vampires. You're going to make billionaire vampires clutching at life because they haven't made peace with their mortal coil. If some rich billionaire decides to take infusions of young, healthy blood for the sake of extending his or her personal life, we have a real-life vampire situation on our hands.
I'm not sure we're there yet, right?
We are going to find the technology to do this. So we are going to sacrifice young virgins, let's say, so that the old can live forever and ever. Instead of the rich having to work hard on their virtues, they can just make the world hell for those serving them. We live at the sufferance of others, and if we are not fully prepared for the consequences of that, we could become our own monsters over time. This is one of the scariest things I've ever imagined, partly because I can see it becoming so very real. Lewis discusses the consequences of immortality for an individual, and that really struck home for me. For Lewis, any personal vice or character flaw over an expanded timeline will grow monstrous. Any little thing wrong with your character means big trouble, big conflict for an immortal.
You have not done the dishes for 5 years.
Like this.
I'm so embarrassed when people come over here.
What does it matter? You bring them over, you kill them! Vampires don't do dishes.
Just ask Jordan Peterson. Any speck of resentment can build up a whole story or ideology or hardened heart, creating a living hell for individual and everyone in their family or community. Ordinary men, when pressed to be loyal, become obedient monsters. I may have to side with another character from the poet Bard here.
What a piece of work is man! How noble in reason, how infinite in faculty, in form, in moving, how express and admirable, in action, how like an angel, in apprehension, how like a god.
The beauty of the world, the paragon of animals, and yet to me, what is this quintessence of dust? We may need to make peace with the dirt at our roots, and make room for ourselves in the layers of nature and death to pass the ultimate tests of virtue, and the tests of our imagination. Now, some wisdom traditions may try to suggest that immortality does not mean forever, but outside time and space.
All the galaxy is a stage.
Whatever the soul is, an abstraction of the imagination, or an immaterial spirit, it exists in some way outside time and space, more important than time and space. Now, I do find myself asking, what courage would I need to stand and face death, knowing my soul is only something imaginative and abstract, and still aim my life at the ideal without any reward of immortality? Can I bury my pride and stoop low enough, like I am one with some clod of dirt? Often enough, the Sunday school version of Christianity becomes the default level of Christianity for the adult congregation.
I still don't understand how I could come out of 12 years of Catholic school and not know who Rene Girard is. Those seem like very important ideas to contend with. And they offer an opportunity for this integration, right? That I think so many people need right now. I want more people to go through that.
If the soul is just an immaterial abstraction, then can it still be compelling enough to inspire a commitment to living well and aiming at an ideal, as Peterson might say? Jordan Peterson's 12 rules for life are in some ways abstract guidelines for how to set and aim your thoughts, words, emotions, and actions so they stand the tests of time and space, even if we are human and mortal. Tell the truth, or at least don't lie. Every time you do this, perhaps, you are taking yourself out of time and space and committing to something greater. You are aiming your being at that point where the abstract, imaginative, metaphorical touches the physical, historical material in the here and now. maybe this isn't as satisfying as saying you're going to live forever. But if the soul is immaterial, then why not just say it is an abstraction that helps make sense of things we experience? Would it break the old traditions and practices and power of the Church?
Well, the play's the thing.
From swords to plowshares again. From statements on the soul to questions for being. How can we transcend the tests of time and space with our thoughts, words, emotions, and actions?